Hi everyone, this is In the Middle
with Kes and Jamie.
Hi everyone!
Hi! Go!
It is very, very chilly, but it's nice and sunny and we're in a great mood and we hope you are too. And today we're going to talk about the Olympics. As you know, they're happening right now. And we're also going to talk about Elon Musk and, you know, all this plane safety, privacy and all that lovely stuff. Tell me, we have got the Olympics full on the roll. It's happening in China right now.
Is it? I know they're happening, but I don't feel it. I mean, I haven't.
Well, yeah, because you're not there, or any other spectators, really.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's one of the biggest problems or issues, right?
There's no excitement about it. I mean, I don't feel excitement about it. I didn't.
No.
I haven't even really seen it promoted on TV that much.
There's definitely coverage, and people that love the sports and the Olympic sports, they're definitely following and watching their preferred sport. But there are no spectators. There's a lot of controversy around it. You know, we have some big countries decided that they're going to boycott it by not send the diplomatic boycott. Correct. They're not going to send their ministers or representatives to China.
Right.
Now, do you know why that's happening? Because of the Uyghurs. Yes, and
the human rights violations that China has been involved with.
Allegedly.
That's pretty much true.
Well,
allegedly, but we know it's true. But there's all kinds of things that they're doing against. They have all kinds of violations. It's not just with the Uyghurs.
So it's a controversial Olympics, right?
It is a controversial Olympics,
and
because it's major countries that have not sent their
Britain,
delegation.
U.S., France, you know, to name a few. So that's like one of the things that's going on. The other big thing is obviously there are no spectators, as we just said.
And it's interesting. I mean, they spent all this money building this thing, and it's
Enormous
beautiful
amount of
facilities.
Enormous amount of money.
And there's no one there.
No one there apart from the
press.
Obviously the press and the sports people and their teams, and you know everyone around the team, the support of the athletes. So it's very different. I think that for the athletes, it must be, I mean, great that they're participating and getting a chance to really show all the talent that they've been training for so many years.
Sure.
But at the same time, nobody's there to cheer them on, to watch them, to support them.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Remember in Tokyo, it was the same thing with the Tokyo athletes. I mean, there was nobody at the Olympics and that was delayed for a year or two. A year at least. It was supposed to happen in 20, but it happened in 2021, and there was no one there. So all these athletes that have trained and worked so hard all their lives to get where they were at that point, they didn't have their families and their friends there to support them and fans, and the same thing's happening with those folks. So it's almost like, you know, you go and you win. You're in the biggest competition ever, and there's no one there to see you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of deflating, I think.
Yeah, and as you said, you don't feel like the Olympics are happening.
No.
The Olympic is happening, right? Because of the fact that there's no spectators, you can't hear the cheers. But there's a positive spin on it. There are 35 openly gay athletes participating in this Olympics.
Yeah, it's the largest number ever.
The biggest number to this day.
Oh, well, the largest number that we've known.
Right, openly.
Openly.
Gay people, which I think is great.
Yeah.
You know, I think that we're slowly coming to a point of really
normalizing
it and having them included in the sports that has historically been for, you know, the athletes and really to unite everyone.
You're talking about it's for the he-men and not the gay ones. What are you talking? What are you saying, Kes? I'm going to get offended here.
Please, come on.
No, because
come on.
So the thing is, I want it to get to a point where they don't even bring that up. I just want it to be like, okay, it's like athletes, because it's a person and you're an athlete, and what orientation you are, or what color you are, or that's bullshit. I mean, it shouldn't matter. And so I just want to get to the point where we don't count that kind of crap.
That wouldn't be a headline in the news.
What's that?
That will come to a time that
will
not be a headline.
Yeah,
in the
this
news.
won't be a headline in the news. And it's almost like everybody's counting for, everybody's, keeping tabs of how many this group has and this group has, and they're trying to keep it all even and everything else. It's like, then what are you going to start doing? Making the Olympics where it's like, you got to have this many gays on your team, you got to have this many women, you got to have this. You see what I mean?
Like it is in the movies, right? You have to have the spectrum of everyone inclusive in the film to make sure that it's a well balanced out.
And you start to cripple the entire industry, both athletic or movies in that case, by saying that you got to hit these marks or you're not going to be legitimate, or you got to hit all these marks or you can't be nominated for an Academy Award.
Right.
I mean, so it's like, okay, you got to hit all these marks or you can't go to the Olympics. It is a slippery slope. I understand why people want to do it, and there's good intentions behind it, but it will have some bad ramifications. So.
Sure. The other interesting thing, obviously, that's very different to any other Olympic is that everyone lives in a bubble who's participating in the Olympics. So the press and the athletes, they live in a bubble. So they can't step out of, that they can't step out of the bubble, basically. Sorry, right. Using the word bubble, but that's just
trouble.
But that's really the fact of the matter, that they can't. They really have to stay within that bubble, and everything within the infrastructure is done the way so that they have to get from, they get buses to get from between locations. They have to stay within the walls of that and then that bubble, and they can't step out, which seems almost
the Olympics prison,
right? But yet there are still COVID cases. Like, for instance, the curling team of the, I think, Australia team had positive cases, and supposedly they were supposed to be going home. But then that decision was changed to they can participate, finish their last two matches, but they have to self-isolate, which is very strange because by the way that it's set up, they supposedly are already very much self-isolated. But here they have to isolate even more, even from the bubble. Within the bubble, sorry. They get tested every day.
Bubble.
They're in a bubble within a bubble. Other than that, I want to say it doesn't differ, but it does. Like, everything is very, very different. And there's a lot of YouTube videos of people that are within that bubble, and they're telling us of their experience, and it is very interesting to see. There's lots of robotics. There's a lot of things that are done by robots. Like, there's a barman.
Yeah.
There's a barman that mixes up drinks, and it's a little insane.
Yeah.
Well, they still have a human being who puts on like a little cherry on top or a little slice of lemon, because the robot can't do it. But anywho, this is definitely a technological step and advance in that area too.
It's good to see them stealing our technology so they can use it. That's great. That's great.
But, the Olympics, they're happening, they will be happening, and I think we will just have to see how it evolves and how, what will happen in 4 years and in 2 years, and how it will change, whether COVID will change the rules completely. Will we have people coming in, watching the spectators coming back or not? It'll be interesting to see.
Yep. Have you heard about Elon Musk?
Generally.
Okay.
Yes, I have not.
Have you ever heard of this guy called Elon Musk? Anyway, no.
Yeah. I think
he has a kid that's set up this Twitter account that tracks his private plane.
Oh my God.
Based on using public information, but has set up this Twitter account that anybody can follow in the Twitter account that follows Elon Musk's plane. Now.
His private plane. So the kid has asked, Elon Musk offered them $5,000 to close the accounts, and the kid is asking for $50,000. So there's a lot of questions that are going on here is from what's going on. What you see here, which is a kid that's basically blackmailing him, saying that give me $50,000. All of it seems bizarre.
Well, it seems bizarre, and also, why in the hell is somebody able to track you in your private plane using public information on your Twitter account? Why is that even allowed? I mean,
literally.
Because the reason why Elon Musk is concerned about this is because it's concern. It's a threat to his safety because God knows who could be following this thing and something
But
really
hold on
nefarious.
a second. I know that there are apps, official apps, and I actually know that my father, for instance, has an app that he tracks the flights that I'm on. Say I'm coming to London or to
Flight Tracker.
Flight Tracker.
Yeah.
And so he knows. So that's legal and that seems to be allowed. So what's the difference between
But that's everybody. This is like Elon Musk's plane. I mean.
But so you're telling me that it's okay to follow like the official.
Well, those are
airlines,
commercial airlines.
Commercial
commercial
airlines.
flights.
But I know that on them, when you look at it, there are official commercial planes, and then there's some little planes that I guess you don't know who they are.
Well, but those are usually chartered flights.
Okay.
I know which ones you're talking about.
Yeah.
Those are usually charter flights, or they could be a government flight of some sort, but something that's been registered with the flight plan.
Right.
That's at that level of planes, but it also doesn't show all the small private planes that would be flying around. So it's usually just the commercial flights that you see,
But
of that grade.
How did this kid come across this information and then
Just
publish
get
it? I mean,
FAA.
that means that they can happen to anyone who has a private plane.
Yeah, and the thing is, people are going, oh, poor people with their private planes. Well, if it's invading on somebody that's wealthy, someone that is wealthy's their privacy, what's to say that it couldn't be something they start tracking you in your car, or they start tracking you on this?
Well, they are tracking my car.
Well, if they ever want to know where you are, if you got one of these little things right here,
they know
they know
anyway.
exactly where you are. But it's really going to become much more prevalent here just shortly with cars, and let me tell you why. We're going to be getting away from the gas tax because a lot of the cars are going to be moving. All the cars are going to be moving to electric. Now, with an electric car, you're not going to be.
And Elon Musk is a really pioneer of that.
Yes, ironically enough, he's but with the electric cars, you're not going to have a need for the gas tax, and so the gas tax is not, which is the way that we fund our roads and bridges and highways. So they're going to be getting rid of that. What's going to come behind that is going to be VMTs, vehicles miles traveled. The vehicle miles traveled is a counting of how many miles that the plane drives in the year, and then they are charged with the tax. Yeah, so based on those miles. And so, but they're considering looking at tracking devices. They're going to be on the car that can kind of track where you're going. So that's how they would know VMTs. And they can be reading it, over the paying it once a month whenever your bill comes in. So my point is, this can be a privacy issue that can really, really start to affect all of us, because it's not just the plane people anymore now. It would be everybody that's got a car. So.
But it is, and I don't know how it's going to end. And obviously, with everything becoming more public and our privacy being shrunk really to a point
Condensed.
of literally, how comfortable are we all with it? Because I mean, the privacy issue comes and pops up everywhere, literally.
Yeah,
and the more technology we use, the more questions of privacy really rise. And how comfortable are we with that being shared? I can understand him, that being Elon Musk and his concern, but the fact that a teenager can literally track him and blackmail him,
it's extortion, man.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, this is extortion. If I was this kid's parents, I would go, get the hell out of here. Cut that damn thing down. Shut that damn thing down. Because it sends a wrong message, like the parents.
I wonder what he wants to do with the 50 grand.
I thought you said he wanted to buy a Tesla.
Oh yeah.
But which I'm not serious. I'm not joking. I think it's seriously, the kid wants to buy a Tesla. If I were Elon Musk, I would just give him the damn Tesla and say,
there you go, and that's it. Stop tracking.
So anyway, I thought it was an interesting story.
Yeah, totally.
So with that, we do appreciate you watching us this week, and we hope to see you next week. And if you have any questions, please leave your comments in the comment section. Be sure to hit like and subscribe and ring that bell, and we will see you next week.
Hey.
Bye-bye.